dry. Do you know I'm looking? And I can't help.
Hello and welcome back to my channel. Thank you so much for being here. My name is Millie, and today I want to update you on what I've been working on for the last 2 weeks. And I've been doing updates here on my channel every 2 weeks, and I find that that's working best for me because the 1 week update was really stressing me out because I work full time and other things in life, and so I don't really have as much time as I would like to be able to record more often. And so I've decided to go down to just every 2 weeks, and I'm gonna try that out and see how it works out for me. So this summer I decided to do the summer sock camp, which is by the Crazy Sock Lady. She has a YouTube channel here, and so I've been doing that. And so all my finished objects and updates today are going to be on the socks that I've been working on. But I also have plans to start working on other objects because I'm getting tired of the socks. It's what it is. Like, I've just been knitting on socks and I'm wanting to do something different. And so I'm going to add other projects. I actually have a whip that I've put aside, and I started the whip in the spring, and it's a stripy shawl, and I want to pick that back up and finish it. And I also want to cast on 2 t-shirts. So I want to make another ranunculus. This is my 3rd one. So I've had plans, or I've had yarn in my stash for a long time to make a 4th one, and I haven't been able to, but I think that this week I'm going to cast on the ranunculus, and I'm also going to cast on the tall sateen, which is a pattern by Rebecca Plow, and I bought the pattern last week. And my goal is to finish one of these pair of socks that's a whip that's almost done, and then I'll cast on either the ranunculus or the tall sateen. I don't know which one. I'm leaning more towards the tall sateen because I already have 3 ranunculus t-shirts. But I don't know. I'll know when I sit down and look at the pattern and decide between the 2 of them, decide what I'm gonna make. So let's look at what I have finished. And I'm using these bags that I got from Amazon, and they are working out really well. They are tiny and they are being marketed as cosmetic bags, but they are perfect for my socks. So, and I'm gonna leave a link down below if you would like to check them out. And so the first sock that I finished is this stripy sock, which I am so happy with. And when I saw this yarn on somebody's YouTube channel, I don't remember her name, I really had to have this yarn. And so I went to the Mustache website, and they were out of stock, but I was able to find it on another shop. And so I ordered it, and it came, and right away I wound it into a cake, and then I knitted my socks. And I worked on these exclusively, and I was able to finish them real quick. I was a little bit worried because sometimes my gauge varies a little bit, and I was worried that I might not be able to match them completely. And I think I'm a little off over here, but it's okay, it's not gonna be noticeable. So on the sock block, that is what the sock looks like. Isn't she beautiful? This is like, right now, this is my favorite sock. I just feel like these stripes are so well matched. It just gives me so much joy. So that's how it looks on the block. And I started with the part of the yarn that has which is the purple, and I think my gauge is not always the same. It varies a little bit, and so I don't know, either the count was a little bit off, but on one sock I added up, well, I still ended up on the pink, but I didn't have enough pink to continue on this sock with this one row. But it's okay, I like it. It ended up looking super cute, and I love the way it fits and how it turned out. And then for the heels, I decided to use a different color. And so this is Knit Picks Straw, and let me see the color, because that's just from my stash. So the heel I decided to do with Knit Picks Straw, and this is another yarn that I really love. I actually have a lot of these in my stash, and this is the color name is Patina, and it comes in 50-gram balls, and it's 75% superwash merino and 25% nylon. And this color is called Patina. And initially I was debating on using a purple from my stash. So initially I was gonna use this purple, and this is another Knit Pick Straw. I think these ones are called either toner or hard painted, but it's super old. Like, I've had these in my stash forever. And so initially I was gonna do the purple so that I can kind of match the toe, because the toe is it's not the same shade. This is more of a lilac than a purple. But then when I put them together, I feel like the patina matched the sock better. And so I decided to save that for something else and use this. So that is my first finished pair. And then out of the first skein, I have these beads left. And I think that, so when I ordered these, I ordered 2 of them. So out of these, I'm still gonna have some of these, another 2 small balls left. And so what I'm gonna do is either make shorties or just mix with another color and make another pair of socks. So that is my goal. And I think the second pair that I'm gonna make, it's either I'm gonna gift the finished pair to my daughter, or I'm gonna make her a pair from here. But I'm not gonna do that right now. I'm gonna work on what I already have actively on my needles. But this sock turned out so well. I am so pleased with it. And then I also have another must stash yarn from way back. Like, I don't remember, like those very first visits that I did to the DFW Fiber Fest when I started knitting actively. And I have this in my stash, and I'm gonna make some socks for my husband. So this is still the same perfect socks, and the name of this colorway is Time Lord. It says 4 even stripes. And so when I bought this, I had no idea about the perfect set or anything like that. And so when I decided to buy this, I remembered that I have this in my stash. And so this is going to be wound in maybe next week. And then I'm gonna cast on a pair for my husband. And that is what that's how it works out. I don't know if you can see the picture nicely, but I'm gonna make another set. I'm gonna finally use this, because this has been in my stash. I can't even remember how long it's been in my stash. So that is my only finished object today. And next I'm gonna show you the whips that I am actively working on. So the first whip that I want to share with you is not very new, but I made a ton of progress on it, and I'm gonna put it on the sock blocker so that you can see it nicely. And I've already mentioned in my other sock videos that I do all my socks toe up, and I use the Sock Matasian toe up sock, and it's actually a sock recipe. So it gives you the calculations, and with those calculations and gauge swatches and all that, you're able to make whatever size of sock that you would like. But it has worked really well for me, and when I'm making socks for myself, I've kind of memorized all the stitch counts, the rows and all that, so I don't really look at the pattern. I have it all memorized, and so it works out perfectly for me. So this is the second, this is the active whip that I am almost done, and this is for me. It's my summer sock, and this yarn is I don't know if I have the label anymore, but this is the yarn I'm using, and this is a yarn that I've discovered recently, and I like it so much. And this part over here is Madeline Tosh Twist, and then this is Cascade Heritage over here, the green. So I wanted to add a little bit of color, and so I decided to go with these two contrasting colors. And then I've done the top of the foot is 2x2 ribbing, and then I continued that up the curve over here. And that is the first finished one. That's what it's looking like. And then on the second one, I'm almost done. I was hoping that by the time I sit down to share this with you, that I would have two finished objects. But like I mentioned earlier, it's been really, really hot, and so it's been slowing me down. And last night I wasn't able to knit because it was super hot, and I kind of just found myself drifting and not knitting as I had anticipated. And so that's how I end up with an almost finished second pair. But I'm planning to sit down as soon as I'm done here and work on this because I am almost done. So I think I just have like a few more rows to go before I start working with the green, and that is what I'm gonna do. So that is the second. That's the whip, almost done. And so that's what I'm gonna be working with. And I finished the first ball of this. It comes in 50 grams, and it's 210 meters. So you need like 1.5, and this is what is left of the second ball. And I'm going to have some left over, and then I'm gonna combine all my leftovers because I'm planning to make a scrappy blanket sometime, maybe starting in the winter. And so I'm saving all my scraps, my fingering weight scraps, in one spot. I'm also going to try and make some scrappy socks, but I'm still thinking about that because I hate weaving in ends. And I feel like in socks, I don't want to weave in too many ends. And so I'm still thinking about it, but I'll still have some of these left. And then earlier when I was talking about this yarn, I told you that it comes with this thread that is supposed to reinforce the heel. So every ball of yarn comes with one of these inside. And after doing the heels on this pair, I still have these left. And so it means that I'll have a ton of extra of these thread left because I have several skeins of these, but not in this color, in different colors. I think I might have like maybe 5 different colors. And so what I'm gonna do is I'm actually gonna use this leftover yarn to do some heels on future socks, and then I'll use up the thread to reinforce the heels because you can barely feel it. So, well, you can feel it's a little bit thick, but I think that it adds to the heel, and so it's gonna make the heel more durable. But I also wanna, once I finish this and wear them and see how it works out, that will give me enough information to decide if I wanna keep using the reinforced heel, the thread to reinforce the heel. But since I'm gonna have a bunch of leftovers from all the yarns that I bought, that's one of the things that I'm thinking that I'm gonna be doing in future. So that is my first whip, which is almost finished. I'm happy with it, but it's kind of very slow going because of the 1x1 rib, the 2x2 rib. Initially, I was gonna do this as a lace all over lace, but I could not find a pattern that was toe up that had the lace that I really wanted. I found what I could find was either carved down or tow up with cables, and I didn't want cables. So, but after all of that searching, I found a sock that I might use in one of my future patterns. It's a tow up sock with all over lace. And so I probably will be casting on that sometime in the future. So let's look at the second whip that I have going on. And my third whip, which I'm actively working on, is in this bag, and it's another bag from Amazon that's supposed to be a makeup bag, but perfect for my socks, and especially if it's just a pair of socks that you're just using one yarn or one skein of yarn. So that is what it looks like. And I shared this yarn in my last episode, and I could not wait to cast on. And this is the yarn that I'm using, and it's paint box yarn socks. My first time ever to use this yarn, and this is the yarn. So I bought 2 skeins of it, and I was so eager to cast on because, like I said, I am really loving stripes this summer. And it's supposed to start off with like a pink, and then it's gonna fade to some yellow, and then all these, yeah, the yarn looks mild. The stripes are not like crisp, if you can see. So the colors are kind of blending a little bit, but they are all individual stripes, so which I like. Because at first when I looked at the picture and then I saw the yarn, I was worried that it wasn't gonna turn out to be what I expected. It kind of gave me a Fair Isle vibe, which is not what I'm looking for this summer. And so once I worked with it and it started knitting like this, I was very pleased. So the only thing I've noted is that, well, the texture is better than Croy socks in my opinion, but it also feels a little bit thicker than hard-dyed yarn, but it's knitting up really nicely. And I have this colorway and I have another colorway. So I'm loving what it's doing right now, and I'm hoping that once I finish these yellow socks, this is what I'm going to be grabbing and working on actively, and hoping to finish in the next 2 weeks. And it's knitting up really fast. And since I don't intend to change the heels, or I don't intend to knit the heels in a different color, I think it's gonna go really fast. And so I am really eager to finish these yellow socks so that I can work on this one. So those are my 2 active whips that I'm currently working on. But I also, like I mentioned earlier, I'm also planning on casting on some summer tees. And I bought the Tulsa tee by Rebecca Plow, and this is the Tulsa tee, and I've been eyeing this since it came out. But this is going to be coming up hopefully in my next episode, and I got some yarn for it, and I'm gonna share with you the yarn, and hopefully I'll have a whip going on. I also have a shawl that I've showed you before, but I haven't been working on it, and it's another stripy shawl. And I'm loving stripes this summer, and well, it's in the wrong spot for me to show you, but this is what it looks like. So these are the stripes. I should probably have finished the row before showing it to you, but I'm planning to pick this back up and finish it so that I can reduce the number of whips that I have going around. And that will give me room to work on new projects, like I'm planning on working on a scrappy blanket using all my fingering weight. but I'm also going to try and finish what I have on my needles before I add on to my whips. On my last video, I mentioned that I am an avid reader, and I know that most people who knit or crochet or sew or do crafts are avid readers. I know that I have avid readers on this channel, and so I decided to start sharing what I am reading. And every time that I am knitting, I'm either watching a YouTube channel, one of my favorite YouTube channels, either crafting or cooking or sewing, whatever it is. And if I'm not watching a YouTube channel, I am listening to an audiobook. So my knitting goes hand in hand with audiobook listening. And I am I exclusively do audiobooks, and sometimes I do ebooks, but I don't read print anymore. But it's also because I feel like when I'm listening to an audiobook, my hands are free to knit. And so I've just gotten to where I think for the last 3 years, I only listen to audiobooks. And I use the Libby app. And right now I'm listening to, let's see, I'm listening to 2 books. So one of them I'm almost I'm actually 88% done, and on the other one I just started it couple of days ago. Actually, I started it yesterday, and so this is what I'm listening to. It's Drive Your Plow Over the Bones of the Dead. So that's what I'm listening to, and it's a translation. I believe that original is written in Polish and then it's been translated. The jury is still out on what I think about this book. I was looking for a book club book for my book club, but I have mixed feelings about it. So it fits the bill of being an international book or a book that is set outside the US, but I'm also trying to think if I really want it on my book club discussion group. But I think it's like 50-50 right now, and I'm 88% in. And then I started listening to this other one, The Mountains Sing. So I started listening to this one because I'm also considering this as one of those that I'm going to add to the lineup. And I've only listened to about maybe 10 minutes of this. And this one is based, I don't know if I think it's based in Vietnam, but it's also obviously set outside the US. So those are the 2 books that I am listening to, and I have been known to listen to 3-4 books at the same time, so I'll just toggle between the 2 depending on what the book is all about. And so that is what I'm doing for the summer. I am knitting a bunch of socks. I'm planning to cast on some t-shirts. I'm also going to be finishing my stripy shawl, and I'm also listening to a bunch of books, scouting for a good title to add to my book club lineup. So if you have a book that you like and that would make a good discussion for book club that is set outside the US, you can leave that in the comments below. But it's not that I'm short. I'm not really short of books per se. It's just that I have read too many books, and I've read a lot of books from some parts of the world, and my book club has read some books from the Middle East, from Asia, from Japan, and I'm trying to go around the world. And so I know there are some good books, but I don't want to revisit the same country right away. So I want to stretch it out. So that is why I'm going out and looking for other other places. So the last week, the book that I was reading was in Colombia, and now this one is in Poland, and the other one is Vietnam, and so that gives me a good variety. So leave a comment below and let me know what you're working on, whether you're knitting, whether you're crocheting. Are you knitting socks? And if you're knitting socks, can you share the patterns that you're using? Are you, if you're sock knitter, do you prefer toe up? Do you prefer calf down? Leave a comment below and let me know what you're working on, and also what you're reading. And whatever you're working on, whether you're knitting or you're crocheting, I hope that you are having a wonderful time, and I hope that your summer is going great. So, and until next time, happy knitting and happy crocheting.